Well, I ain't got no good Mother's Day joke because you know how I feel about my baby mothers. I gotta talk about these liberal Democrat leftist hoes because I don't have nothing good to say on baby mama's day. But I do want to say Michelle Obama is the first man because Barack Obama is still the president.
The goal is to let leaders lead, but in certain times people, look to us often, well, what do you think? How do you feel?
How do you feel? Now all of a sudden you care.
Look, I don't believe you change hearts.
Next! I don't believe that bitch got a heart.
And we know that while we're all breathing a sigh of relief over the verdict, there's still work to be done.
Like getting rid of systemic racism, I guess.
And a lot of them don't seem to understand the difference between a racist country and a systemic racism. They don't seem to get the difference.
Next! Who in the hell is they? Black people? I know Kamala Harris know what systematic racism is.
So I decided I was going to start prosecuting parents for truancy.
Because Kamala Harris is part of the problem, laughing about locking up black parents.
That's what I'm trying to put together.
Sorry, bitch, Donald Trump didn't give you that chance. Next!
Yes, maybe it's not a racist country. Maybe Americans, the majority, are not racist. But we live in a country with systemic racism. We discussed it this week again already.
Well, have you discussed Kamala Harris' systematically racist ass for her locking up black and brown parents?
Well, this was a little controversial in San Francisco.
And she thought it was funny. You hear this, Hillary Clinton?
Yes, well, so what do you want me to do about it? What am I supposed to do about it?
I didn't want you to do nothing about it. I just wanted you to know that you have a little competition for the most unlike woman on the face of the earth. So Hillary Clinton, you better step your game up if you want to remain the most hated bitch ever in the world.
But I said, look, I'm done. This is a serious issue, and I've got a little political capital, and I'm going to spend some of it.
To lock up black and brown kids and black and brown parents.
And so we can't sort of say, great, that happened, let's move on.
Now that was a trick joke. The Democrats have forgotten about Camilla's racist past and done moved on.
You're not going to change every heart.
Well, some people don't have a heart.
Usually the job comes with a badge. And there is often an artistic rendering of said badge on your stationery. So I sent a letter out on my letterhead to every parent in the school district.
Letter my ass, that was a threat.
A friend of mine actually called me and he said, Kamala, my wife got the letter. She freaked out. She brought all the kids into the living room, held up the letter, said, if you don't go to school, Kamala's going to put you and me in jail. Yes, we achieved intended effect.
To scare the shit out of parents and lock their ass up.
As a prosecutor and law enforcement, I have a huge stick.
Next! You probably do.
I know that people in the black community don't feel that way.
But Michael's stick is bigger. Next!
Because we will not have all of the changes that you deserve to see happen.
And that's black people getting slaughtered by the police.
Young black people in particular are being targeted, unarmed young black people.
So the police is going around targeting and shooting the shit out of black unarmed men and letting armed black men just walk around the damn streets. So if you don't want to get targeted by the police, you better go get you a gun, or else your ass might get targeted by the police and get your ass shot.
And so I am concerned.
I'm not, and I'm one of them niggas you supposed to be talking about.
Because many of us still live in fear.
I don't, because I'm not getting targeted by the police. Wait a minute. I better go out and get me a gun before I do get targeted by the police. I ain't trying to get 187.
They must stop killing black people.
They must only keep killing white people. Ain't that a bitch?
As we go to the grocery store or worry about walking our dogs.
I don't see too many niggas where I live walking chihuahuas. And if I do see a nigga walking a chihuahua, he not getting harassed because his ass is usually gay.
And it just continues. It goes on and on and on.
So do Democrat lies.
And mothers and fathers are crying, pleading, begging, upset, can't sleep because we're afraid.
I got 2 sons and I sleep good. I know the people in my neighborhood not worried about no damn police and being scared. They more worried about a drive-by.
Or allowing our children to get a license. I mean, just imagine.
Your kid's been shot for not having a license. I'm sorry, I can't imagine that. My kid and my son have license.
They will be stopped, and they're afraid of the police, and they sometimes will run.
I think my son is more scared of my grandmother's enemies than the police.
They're driving, but every time they get in a car by themselves, I worry about what assumption is being made by somebody who doesn't know everything about them.
Like they not the president's daughter surrounded by a secret service.
Maybe somebody sees the back of their head and makes an assumption.
That they might be white girls and give them a break.
The fact that they are good students and polite girls, but maybe they're playing their music a little loud.
So the police will assault your daughters for playing WAP. You are comparing your daughters to the average black man. Ain't that a bitch?
And when they run, that gives the police the authority to shoot them down based on the policies of the police department and kill them.
Because killing black people that run is in the police manual.
I, like so many parents of black kids, have to, that the innocent act of getting a license puts fear in our hearts.
Especially if you use that license to vote. We need to hurry up and change white people hard fast.
You're not. But at the end of the day, we can do a whole lot to change some hearts.
But not liberal hearts. You can't change liberal hearts, but you can change their sex.
So I think we have to talk about it more, and we have to ask our fellow citizens to listen a bit more and to believe us.
So white people should believe Michelle Obama pain and this bitch live in the Hamptons.
Well, respectfully, if that is your position, then I will talk only to white people about how we are going to deal with the very real problems. That's not what I mean.
Well, what do you mean? And why liberals never make liberals answer racist shit?
We've all done things that we regret. I mean, if we're talking about bringing a discourse down, Joy, you've worn blackface.
As a white woman.
Is this Joy speaking? The same Joy? The same Joy that paraded around in blackface not too long ago?
Yes, that bitch.
So you want to bring this up? The question came up.
I did not go in blackface, please.
No, she was not in blackface.
Thank you.
Well, what in the hell was it?
Come on, Joy. I don't think you should be asking these questions.
Especially if you're gonna lie.
That is me. Did you have tanning lotion on, Joy? A little. I had makeup that was a little bit darker than my skin. We've got to fix it. But that's my actual hair.
And your actual black face.
I am.
Excuse me. The black community had my back.
Sure we did. Next!
And to know we don't want to be out there marching. I mean, all those Black Lives Matters kids, they'd rather not have to worry about this. They're taken to the streets because they have to.
And they paid to.
So you can keep the movement going, which you have started, and through it, you may actually change some hearts. But if that's all that happens, we'll be back here in 10 years having the same conversation.
And 10 years later, here we are having the same damn conversation.
They're trying to have people understand that we're real folks.
And not slaves.
And the fear that many have of so many of us is irrational.
It's not just white folks scared of niggas. It's niggas scared of niggas too.
And it's based on a history that is just, it's sad and it's dark, and it's time for us to move beyond that.
And start asking white people to apologize.
So I think we've got we've got somebody saying here, we have to bring them
apologize for mass incarceration.
Okay, we'll talk about it.
I'm not a super predator, Hillary Clinton.
Okay, fine, we'll talk about it.
You apologize to black people for mass incarceration?
Hell no, for what? It served its purpose.
The very first speech that I gave back in April was about criminal justice reform and about
predators.
You're being rude.
That's not appropriate. Predators.
This is not appropriate.
That's rude.
Yeah, you want to hear the facts, you just want to talk.
Because Democrats don't do facts, we do talk.
Because you can get lip service from as many white people as you can hack into Yankee Stadium and a million more like it.
And won't shit change?
You called black youth superpredators in 1994. Please explain to the record. Explain it to us. You owe black people an apology.
Apologize for what?
We're going to say, oh, we get it. We're going to be nicer.
But in actuality, we don't give a fuck.
Tell you what, if you will give me a chance to talk.
If you give me a chance to talk, I will lie my ass off.
That's not enough, at least in my book. That's not how I see it.
Well, how do you see it? Can you answer that question for her?
You know what? Nobody's ever asked me before. You're the first person to ask me, and I'm happy to address it, but you are the first person to ask me here. Okay, back to the issues.
Next! The liberal have a good bunch of wholesome, good, God-fearing women to represent the Democratic Party.
I don't want to be a fearmonger, but this is scary. This is really dangerous, what they're trying to do to a woman's right to choose.
It's even more scary what you're trying to do with women's rights to choose.
I am asking Congress to pass legislation to prohibit the late-term abortion of children who can feel pain in a mother's womb.
Because the only people that don't agree with that is on the left. Next! And you know who daughter this is.
Joke, but the fact that these men are calling me a bitch when they're actively killing innocent children abroad and also furthering U.S. imperialism makes me think that they're actually the bitch.
Who daughter is this?
Yes or no, do you think that massacre was a fabulous achievement that happened under our watch?
You guessed it. Like mama, like daughter.
I am not going to respond to that kind of personal attack, which is not a question.
Well, there's no question where ILHAN Omar's daughter get her anti-American rhetoric from.
We need to recognize that this environmentalist, white idea of sustainable is only for, the white ruling class and not for low-income people who are already doing the best that they can to be sustainable.
She get it from her mama.
Yes or no, would you support an armed faction within Venezuela that engages in war crimes, crimes against humanity or genocide, if you believe they were serving U.S. interest?
Hell yeah, I answer it for them.
As you did in Guatemala, El Salvador, and Nicaragua.
Bitch, if it was on the moon and it was in the interest of the United States, I would beat the shit out of a Martian.
I am not going to respond to that question. I'm sorry. I don't think this entire line of questioning is meant to be real questions.
They meant to be anti-American. No wonder where her daughter get it from.
The climate crisis is a ticking time bomb. We don't have a lot of time left.
Well, we should take the advice of one of AOC, Alexandria Ortiz hecklers.
Much long because of the climate crisis. We only have a few months left. I love that you support the Green Deal, but it's not getting rid of fossil fuel. It's not going to solve the problem fast enough. A Swedish professor saying, we can eat dead people, but that's not fast enough. So I think your next campaign slogan has to be this: we got to start eating babies.
And no plant-based babies either.
So this girl named Greta Thunberg from Sweden decided to strike on a Friday, skip school and strike for the climate.
What in the hell is that gonna do?
We don't have enough time. There's too much CO2. All of you're a pollutant. Too much CO2. We have to start now, please. You are so great. I'm so happy that you're really supporting the Green Deal, but it's not enough. Even if we would bomb Russia, we still have too many people, too much pollution. So we have to get rid of the babies.
Gas and hamburgers is not enough.
So when I heard people were striking, a friend of mine DM'd me on Instagram this radical idea to do a strike on March 15th, and we decided to create USC's Climate Strike.
Well, you can strike all you want. It won't work.
This was the first time I saw all middle school, high school, and college age kids organizing and also partaking in something pretty massive, not even just in where they were, but all over the world.
Getting kids together all over the world, I think that's a little too damn late.
That's a big problem. Just stopping having babies is not enough. We need to eat the babies, and this is very serious. Please give a response.
Shout out to the special women on this special day that helped this channel run. Women like Beth Roberts, Heather Anderson, Maisha Greenwood, my Stormy Majeri, Monica Lisa, Maria J. Lopez, Lynette Ray Barton, Dina Callie, Margaret Bartlow, Michelle Rozier, and a whole lot of other women that I don't have time to mention right now. So thank you to all the conservative women on this Mother's Day. And all the liberal women, you can go to hell.